Bought. Huge spike increase. And now, if you didn't know what was going on, and you had shiny object syndrome, you'd have seen that green line shoot straight up to the moon and gone, wow. But
I want some of that.
Jump in.
Cryptocurrency, same thing. It doesn't appeal to me. I believe it's going to be something in the future, but for my current situation and what I'm doing now, I believe the processes that I'm taking, I'm going to follow this route, I'm going to stick with it, and I'm just going to keep pressing on.
We are finding success, and we're here to help break that monotony of your life and help you find your own version of success. Welcome back to another episode, guys, with me, Alex.
And me, Adam. How you doing, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate. Looking forward to another episode this week. I don't know why I'm a bit buzzed. Looking forward to it, yeah.
I'm on it. Excited.
I am.
This week, what should we talk about? We know what we're going to talk about. It is going to be... What?
I love that. What we're going to talk about... Well, we know what we're going to talk about. We're planned.
Have a quick chat before we get into it.
Cool.
And yeah, we do plan the episodes. But this week, keeping on track of what you're doing instead of looking at what's hot. Spicy.
Yeah, we wanna talking about spicy. We want to stay with the chicken tikka masala, nice, cool, on our track. We don't want to jump to the Naga curry, the hottest ding bus going. We don't want that.
That ghost chili curry.
We don't want that. We want to stay on what we're doing.
Oh no, a little bit spicy. Bit jalfrezi. Chicken jalfrezi.
Yeah, jalfrezi.
Chicken jalfrezi. We like a bit of spicy life. It excites
it's quite good. I like a jalfrezi.
Going down that route, but you can't go wrong with a masala.
You can't, no.
Okay, that took a very different turn. But so basically what we're getting on about is essentially shiny object syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the word.
It's like you're a magpie, you're being drawn to the jewellery that looks all fancy and just going after it. And then as soon as you got it, there's another piece over there, you're more interested in that piece over there, and it's just snowballing it.
Yeah. I think the way it starts off is... Well, actually, I can sort of say that I fell into that trap a little bit from where you scroll through social media and you see, like when I was first looking to get into something, and I didn't quite know what it was, I literally just typed in Google how to be rich or how to do something, and it came up. I didn't think about what I wanted to do. I just wanted the cash. I wanted the
result.
The result.
Result.
I didn't want... to do what I wanted to do. I just wanted the result. So I think it falls into that trap quite easy. I think people go on the websites or go on social media or see what is hot. I think, do you know what, I'm going to get into that because everyone's talking about it. It's the go-to thing. Let's get involved in that because obviously it's working when necessarily that is not the case.
Yep.
Maybe it is working for those people that are doing it day in, day out and making it work for them and are obviously solid involved in that background and that life. But for you who isn't really interested in it, we know that it's not really going to work.
Spot on. I was going to get into that, to be fair. I think it's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's great from an investor's mind. It's get my words out.
Good out.
To be able to stay away from hot objects as an investor, I think is vital.
Yes.
So,
as an investor,
yeah,
yes.
Because it's not part of your plan.
No.
Stick to your plan. Stay with it. It's safer than ever.
Yeah.
You know what happened? Everyone remembers what happened in January.
Yeah.
Last year, Robinhood, GameStop, BlackBerry shot up to the roof, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, it was just a large group of people on Reddit joined together to try and stick it to the men in the hedge funds, top of the hedge funds. And who were supposedly, these hedge fund lads were supposedly shorting these stocks.
Yeah.
And people, you everyday investor didn't like this, so they all came together on Reddit and through this app and basically tried to shaft their position. Bought. Huge spike increase. And now, if you didn't know what was going on and you had shiny object syndrome, you'd have seen that green line shoot straight up to the moon and gone, wow, buy.
I want some of that.
And jump in.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they're the people that got bit the hardest because they didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And they did lose a lot of money and there was all sorts of stuff. And that's why it's bad from an investing point of view.
Yeah.
Because you need to just stay on your game. Just keep to your plan.
Yeah, exactly. Not system hop. It's
the
same with Forex, with people that start trading or learning to trade, they see a system they see a back-tested strategy or a system that they quite like. It suits their needs. It's their times. It's how often they want to trade. If it's a daily time frame, for instance, it suits what they want to do. And they then see that Jono over here is making twice as much cash, but he's spending twice as much time on a computer because he's got the time to do it. But because he's making more money, they go from their little system that works really neat and nice and cruisy for them, and they system hop to Jono's system. But then they're starting not from where they start before, they're starting from scratch. So then they've got to redo everything. But because Jono's doing it, they think, oh, well, it must be working.
Fine.
It must be
He's
working,
done
so
the work.
I'm just going to go and do it. And as you just said, it's not the case. You've got to stick with your system and make it work for you.
Because then it works. No matter what happens, you're gonna be confident in what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's where the key is. That's
just going back to that
mindset.
GameStop thing real quick. It's quite funny. And again, yeah, you probably don't know this, but do you know who bought GameStop as in a buy for it to increase before that whole thing came out?
Is it Murray?
Yeah, Burry, yeah.
Burry,
Michael Burry, yeah. He bought GameStop for it to increase, I think it was, before all that happened. Yeah.
How does he know?
I don't know. Well,
He might have started the domino, you know.
He put it out
People
there.
listen to him. People listen to him, you know.
I think it was he saw that they were linking with PlayStation or something, and he thought it was going to make the stock increase, but not by like...
I thought it's almost a fluke.
Yeah, not by
Wow.
like 2,000%, just
Wow.
by like whatever, like 10, 15% or something,
average
get in and get
return,
out,
yeah.
yeah. But he bought it as a low, and then it, boom, it went up. And I think he sold like halfway up. He exited.
Genius.
He took his money and walked out of that.
Because you never know how long it's going to... halfway up, another day, it could have just been...
And how long did it last? Can you remember?
I can't, but it was not long.
It was less than a month, wasn't it?
Less than a month. I think the initial spike was over a 2-day period. Because she came crashing back down to then spike a little bit again.
Yeah.
And crashing back
because
down.
it has spiked again recently, isn't it?
Has it?
In recent this or last
This
quarter.
year? Really?
Yeah, I think it spiked again. Same with BlackBerry.
Really?
I don't know why, yeah.
I thought BlackBerry sold up, packed up.
Maybe. But I'm sure
knows?
it's something like that. It spiked again. I will
Interesting.
find out for you.
Find out. We need to know.
Not today, but we'll find out.
Okay, let us know in the next episode. Anyway, but for every day, let's get away from the money side. For every day, say you're just running a business, because that's what we like to talk about that as well.
We
here.
do, yeah.
I think it can be great to have shiny object syndrome, but I think it can be horrendous. So I'm going to go into the great first. I think the good side of it is it keeps you moving forward. It keeps you moving with the times.
Yeah.
Instead of getting caught back in the 80s with no tech, I guarantee everyone in the UK, everyone listening to this podcast now, I guarantee you, does paperless banking. Which you
Yes.
think is...
Online banking or paperless banking?
both.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
they're pretty much the same, hand in
Yeah.
hand, aren't they, these
Yeah,
days?
yeah.
You've got your banking app on your phone. I
Yeah.
guarantee everyone listening to this podcast will have that because, I don't know, just a certain
Moving
level
with
of
the
tech,
times.
isn't it? Exactly that.
Yeah.
And if your bank was the last... Look at Monzo. That's purely online.
Yeah.
Purely an app. There is no bank
Store.
in every town. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't go in store to deposit your cash. And it's huge.
Mm.
It's massive. It's like, especially in our industry, motorsport, everyone has a Monzo card.
Oh, mate. If you don't have a Monzo card, you're
you're
one
like,
out.
"Oh,
Yeah,
really?"
yeah.
And if you
Why
don't,
haven't
it's
you got
like,
Monzo?
well, just sign up now, mate. It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so easy to do. It's incredible. So they're sticking with the times.
Yeah.
They're moving forward. So a little bit can keep you in the race, can
Yeah.
keep you going. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
can't get stagnant and lose sight of where you are. That's quite a small picture, though. That's
Yeah.
like, it's not huge. Big picture, I think it can be bad. Say your entire business is window cleaning. You're a
Mhm.
window cleaner, right? And because you've seen, you're on IG one night, you're on Instagram one night, scrolling, you see a geezer, really popular geezer, cleaning pools. Have you seen any of them?
I love those
Yeah.
videos.
Everyone, they're really satisfied.
They're so satisfying.
And because this geezer cleans windows, he's like, oh, it's not, no one's liking my IG posts or whatever, I'm going to go clean pools. But he ain't got a clue how to clean a pool. He doesn't have the first fiddly
Does
stick.
it have the equipment? Does it have anything?
Exactly. But he goes up to his customer he's cleaning windows for. He goes, oh, I'll clean your pool now if you want. Yeah, mint. And he doesn't do a very good job. He doesn't do the same job as those people on IG because he's not the specialist. So hopping from one industry to another, or even just different areas in the same industry, can sometimes ruin you.
Yeah, you can.
Because he would get no repeat customers
Yeah.
from cleaning windows.
Yeah,
to then
exactly.
moving on to pools. So that's the downfall.
That's a great analogy, by the way. I like that.
Do you think?
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Hey. Literally come up with that like on the way in.
That's mega.
Because that's just like a contrast. And I still feel like he can excel in window cleaning. I don't know if you remember, it was way before the pool guys came on, but there was a person doing cool window cleaning things in America.
Okay.
Because obviously they have skyscraper stuff. He could do
They
cool
got
pictures.
massive places, haven't they?
Exactly,
Yeah.
huge windows. He'd do like a painting on them out of the foam. And, it's just incredible stuff. But I guarantee he's not gone on to cleaning pools. He's just carried on doing what he's doing. He's probably doing well off of it.
Yeah.
And it's same, if you're a barber, it's just across all industries, whatever you do, don't just hop to the latest hot topic. Focus, double down on yourself, double down on your industry, and just give it your all. Become that person that can do portraits on huge skyscraper windows.
Yeah.
Be the person who can do amazing pool cleaning. Just be one of them.
We spoke about this before, I know, but like obviously the happiness and the fullness that this guy produces on Instagram. But that Francis train geezer, he's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? If he went from filming trains to filming cars, it wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like that other geezer who just films like, what do you do for a living? Like runs up to people in their famous cars, like, what do you do for
Daniel
a living?
Mack.
That's it.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? Do you know what I mean? His forte is doing that. If him and Francis switch roles, it wouldn't work. It
Yeah.
wouldn't work because obviously he doesn't have the knowledge in what trains is, and the other geezer doesn't have knowledge in cars, so
Exactly.
it just wouldn't work. So as you
Exactly.
said, I think you have to, with your field, you have to stick at your field and just keep refining your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And
Become
just,
a pro.
Exactly, you can become a pro in what you're doing, which is the most important thing in your industry because, as you said, if you're turning it into a business, for instance, selling records now is like coming back in. Like back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was hot. Everyone wanted to have a record player and bang out records because you didn't have Spotify and so on and so forth. Great podcast on that, by the way, guys. Make sure you go and click on ours and listen up. But now record things are coming back in, and I was away recently in
Like vinyl records are black.
yeah, vinyl. Like, and I was away in I can't remember where I was going, somewhere, and there was just a dedicated shop for vinyl records. Nothing else. No DVDs, no CDs, no technology. Just plain vinyl records. A shop, not an online shop, a physical high street shop, and it was rammed.
Nah.
Loads of people in there. I would say minimum 10, 15 people in there.
Wow.
Flicking for records. And it's like, how has he made that work? But obviously he's stuck, or she has stuck to what she or he enjoys, records, vinyl. She may be 50, 60, 70, but she's kept it all, and she's sort of recycling it and saw a space in the market for people that want records. Bam, there you go, there's a business.
It's a niche, complete niche.
Exactly.
Double down on a niche, and it's become successful.
Yeah, and she's just kept it that same thing over and over and over. She hasn't drifted. She hasn't started selling CDs or DVDs or iPhones. She's just stuck with plain records, and it's obviously worked for her, and it is working for her.
Because people know she's probably got, she's got exactly what they're going to want. They got the best of the best. They've not diluted their own business model. They've just gone, yep, this is what it's going to be.
And even to this, like, to the point now where we're coming back to that vintage clothes, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the vintage clothes coming back in. So those stores who never drifted away from what they believed in, like 90s and noughties clothes, like baggy and like ripped or a bit vintage, if they've just stuck with that same process, they haven't gone to like the new style, like the 10s with like the spray on skinny jeans and whatever, and they're just stuck to what they're doing, their niche, their style, they're now reaping the rewards because it's come back round again.
Yeah.
So they haven't jumped on what's hot. They've jumped on what's theirs. They've made it what's theirs, what they know exactly, and stuck with it.
Spot on. Or even if they're new startups, they've seen the gap in the market. They've not just gone for what's hot. They've not gone for the next hype. They've gone, you know what, this is what I really like.
Yeah.
I think more people will like it if it was more available to them. So they put it out there, and it is. There's always exactly. They've found the gap in the market. So that's really interesting.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff, though.
Yeah.
I just love people that fixate on what they're doing and focus on it and double down on it and just keep going with the flow. It's some things it's quite hard in some ways, and some things it's not. You know, if you're trying to find or keep up with the trend, as we all know, if we follow the trend, we're going with the 9-to-5ers, we're going with the day in day outers. You know, we're just going to live our life and just grow old and sadly pass away. But if we go against the trend, if we go against the grain and know what we like and know what we do and double down on it and go against it, sometimes it will pay off, and 9 times out of 10 it does pay off.
Definitely. That's nailed it there. Going with the 9-to-5, sticking with it just because everybody does.
Yeah.
How sad is that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got the group of NFTers now that are coming up over here. oh, come and buy some NFTs and stuff like that. This was 2-3 months ago. But NFTs are the thing. NFTs are the thing. And like then the market's crashed. But if you were stuck doing what you were doing, investing Forex, reading books, selling records, selling 90s vintage clothes, you're still in that same position and you're reaping the rewards. And this little hot topic over here is dying. Yes, it will come back, but the market's dipped. So
it's not gone, but it's spot on. That's a great example again of it happens a lot in the investing world, doesn't it?
It's really weird,
how something spikes to beyond and then just crashes out of nowhere. And NFTs is a great example of that. How like they were everywhere.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You couldn't
go on social media without scrolling through and seeing buy this Bored Ape social media thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
And loads of celebrities had them and all that sort of stuff. And they were going for hundreds of thousands. Some of them were millions, weren't they, for these digital arts?
Ridiculous.
And I was thinking about it. Getting into NFTs now. It was absolutely mental because these people that were buying these, some of them were to get into special clubs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like these Bored Apes were to get onto this yacht party club, whatever. So basically a networking event.
Yeah.
And these cost a fortune. These are millions of pounds worth of NFTs. And it was just odd because all these people bought these NFTs. They've got the money available to buy these NFTs.
Yeah.
These people already had the money, probably already knew each other because they're in the same circle. They're in the billionaire circle, in the millionaire circles. Like, they all know each other.
Yeah.
So it blew my mind. It was a complete waste of money. There's not really a proper networking system when you're already networking outside of,
it's just another, it's just an additional thing.
I'm not sure how it worked, but I think you're right. They're not dead. I think we will have a use for them in the future, but
100%,
the hype is gone.
Yeah.
No one's interested.
It's like, well, even Gary Vee, Gary Vee jumped on that bandwagon straight away with his V Friends, I think it was called.
Yep.
Like, he was selling tokens for people to have like a meal with him or a family or a day out or whatever.
See, I think that works better than
Absolutely.
what they were doing in the Bored Ape.
Absolutely, because that has got a value.
Yep.
That has got a value, an intrinsic value. You can spend an hour picking Gary Vee's mind.
Exactly.
You can spend an hour, if we made an NFT, picking Finding Success's minds. Do you know what I mean? You've got an intrinsic value. You can use that as a token and actually improve your life. Going to a party is just going to give you a headache the next day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
costs you even more money.
If you're already networking with those people that are millionaires and billionaires and you have good contacts there because you've been to previous networking events before, buying a Bored Ape thing for £2 million isn't going to improve your life in any way, shape or form.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because essentially it is worthless.
Yeah. It's just a piece of art that unfortunately is digitalised, and yes, your name is it, and yes, you have the blue tick in this. You own it, correct, but
Does it matter?
It's a party token.
Exactly that. And I've taken a screenshot of a few of them, so I've got loads. If anyone wants them.
We're rich, we'll sell them.
Where we go from there? That's interesting.
Well, is there anything to add? Because realistically, I think we've now doubled down on everyone's knowledge that realistically, if you're doing something, if you're plugging away at your business, if you're plugging away at your vinyl records, if you're plugging away at your 90s vintage clothes, if you're plugging away at a podcast, making a course, whatever you're doing in your life, becoming an athlete, anything that you truly believe in, enjoy doing day in, day out, have no struggle with doing it, and if you truly enjoy it, stick with it. And if your mate comes and says, this is the new hot topic, consider it, because maybe it is something new, but if it's not something that interests you, don't do it at all. Steer clear of it. NFTs, we didn't know anything about them. I looked into them very, very briefly. They didn't appeal to me. I'll still clear of them.
Same here.
Cryptocurrency, same thing. It doesn't appeal to me. I believe it's going to be something in the future, but for my current situation and what I'm doing now, I believe the processes that I'm taking, I'm going to follow this route, I'm going to stick with it, and I'm just going to keep pressing on with this topic. That'll be down the line when I've exhausted my resources, and unfortunately I can never exhaust my resources in what we're doing. It's ever growing. Yeah. But when I've sort of doubled down on that knowledge and understand it, I could then look for future ventures. But right now I'm fixated, and you should be too, listeners, on what you're doing, what you're focusing on. Keep it simple, keep it short, keep focused on what you're doing. Don't system hop. Get rid of that shiny object syndrome.
Lovely.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the links will be down below. Don't forget, guys, share this podcast. Get it out with your friends and family. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to watch us on YouTube as well. Enjoy. See you next week. Peace.